This is the Kitchen Sink WP Podcast, episode 481.
I program my home computer.
We have a server crash, 404 error, page not found, links aren't working, system is crashing, system is crashing, system is crashing.
Your old HTML website, barely alive. We have the technology. We have WordPress. A new website, better than it was before. Better, stronger, faster. We have the technology.
Why, hello everybody, this is Adam Silva, the host of the Kitchen Sink WP Podcast. Thanks for being here. Let's get started. All right, upcoming events, we have two WordCamps. WordCamp Sylhet, which is May 19th and May 20th. And there's also WordCamp Lisboa, the 19th and 20th as well. So that was in Portugal. The first one's in Bangladesh. If you're in those areas, by all means, check them out and go. Let me know how they were. Be cool to go. Yeah. I'm guessing that Bob WP will be, well, maybe not. I'm not sure how far Porto is from Lisboa. Anyway, all right. Nonetheless, I digress. Okay, segment one, in the news, a couple of things. Actually, a lot of news this week. First and foremost, a couple of acquisitions. Themeum acquired Kirki, the customizer framework plugin. That's kind of cool. And Josh Kohlbach announced that his company, Rymera Web Co, has acquired WC Vendors. WC Vendors was a marketplace based on WooCommerce. Kind of cool. So there's those two acquisitions. Also in the news are a couple of, surveys. Yes, Stackoverflow has their 2023 developer survey open for responses. So check that out, link in the show notes. And ACF also launched their annual survey of their users. WP Engine launched that because WP Engine acquired it, I think, about a year ago. So check that out. And lastly, WordPress 6.2.1 RC1 is now available. If you want to test that out, you can. So release candidate 1 for 6.2.1 of WordPress core. Is that it? Yeah, that's it. A lot in the news. It's going crazy. All right, moving right along here. The meat and potatoes, segment 2 of this week's episode. Top 10 public speaking tips. That's right. So a few weeks ago, a buddy of mine from my men's group reached out, asked me if I had some time to talk to him about something. He said it wasn't urgent, but to let him know the next time I might be at the local Starbucks with my co-working day. I had no idea what he would want to chat about. I really didn't. Actually, it's not true. I thought that he might want to recruit me to be in a 200-mile relay race, the Blue Ridge Relay, but I was wrong. So what he actually wanted to talk about, since we just spoke last week, actually the end of last week, was about public speaking. He found out that his company is about to have layoffs. He was told to start looking for a new job, for which he is, but he's also looking to do some consulting work in his industry. Part of that would be him also doing some public speaking. So he wanted to know my background, my experience, and my, how I went about getting to the fact that I am a public speaker as well. Well, pre-COVID. So, which leads me to now, because things are coming back to normal with conferences, meetups, WordCamps, etc. So that being said, I offered up the following 8 tips, and I want to share this with you as well, as you might find yourself out there in the world speaking again. Number 1, and these are in no specific order, by the way, just kind of how they came to me in my walking the dog and whatnot. So first and foremost, know your topic. Know it better than you think you need to. So depending on the type of talk, keynote versus informational will help you figuring out this approach here. If it's a keynote, you want to tell a story, something that will set the tone for the overall conference. If it's the speeds and feeds of a new product or service, you want to know that content inside and out. And when you think you know it well enough, practice again. Really practice again. Trust me on this, okay? Second, number 2 here, know your audience. Now, you need to ask your organizers if you're unsure. Why? Because the speech isn't about you. It's for them. So before you begin to craft your message, consider who the message is intended for. Learn as much as you can about the listeners, about the attendees as you can. This will help you determine the choice of words, level of information, beginner, intermediate, advanced, and motivational statements if it is a keynote. So really know your audience. Okay. Number 3, when you walk out on stage, take a breath and start with your presentation. Now I say this because I don't believe you should start with your bio. They don't need to know that. The audience already knows who you are. They're there to hear you. And ideally, the person who introduced you has done that. So starting with your bio again, having a slide with all your resume and your credentials, I believe is not the best practice here. Okay. So, and I'll just add real quick on this. off the top of my head. You can always add that at the end, how to find you, how to reach you, how to contact you. Your last slide should be about you. Contact me this way. Okay. Number 4, use humor, tell stories, and use effective language. Yeah, it's okay to inject a funny anecdote in your presentation. Absolutely. But stay away from politics and faith, in my opinion, because I think that's, you don't know what you don't know as far as the audience goes. Okay. Audiences generally like a personal touch in a speech, so a story can provide that. So totally fine to use humor and tell stories. All right. Number 5, I believe, don't read from your slides. Meaning, actually, let me repeat that. Don't read from your slides. If you're reading to me from a slide, then why do I need you up there? Really? Okay. So yes, there might be statistics, numbers, dollars, and analysis, but it's better to reference them slightly and lightly. Now, I personally like to use images so I can recall the story I'm trying to tell and the information I want to share. I'll speak to an image, to a concept. Of course, your audience is going to help you decide how you're going to present that. But if you're just reading what I can read myself, that is not a presentation I think people are going to be interested in that much. Maybe a couple words, but if I'm reading them out loud, like a whole bunch of stuff, not my opinion as a good speaker. Okay. There's another one here, number 7, if I'm not mistaken. Nope, maybe 6, I think. Number 6. Did that one. Watch for feedback and adapt to it. Now, this is hard to do sometimes, but during your speech, you want to keep the focus on the audience. So you need to pay attention as best you can to them. Gauge their reactions, adjust your message, and stay flexible. Now, delivering a canned speech will guarantee that you're going to lose the attention or confuse some of your listeners, some of the people in the audience. They're going to get bored. If it's canned and monotone and has no, just no oomph to it, you're going to lose them. And that takes me to number 7, use your voice. Changing tone, pitch, volume, all very effective and can really help make a point. Additionally, using your hands effectively, moving around the stage, if appropriate, can also help solidify and ground the intent of your message. You see people walking around from left to right. Sometimes that's nervous energy, but more often than not, if it's a good speaker, it's intentional to get you to follow along the story. Okay. And lastly, no one wants you to fail. Keep this in mind. People are there to learn something new, to be inspired and motivated. The last thing they want is for you to do poorly. Trust me on this, and you'll be just fine. Okay, that's it. One more time, I'll go over these in the highlights here. Number 1, know your topic. Number 2, know your audience. Number 3, when you walk on stage, take a breath, okay? And don't start with your bio. Number 4, use humor, tell stories, okay? Number 5, don't read from your slides. Number 6, watch for feedback and adapt to it. Number 7, use your voice. And number 8, no one wants you to fail. Trust me, it's true. Okay, so there you have it. Love to hear your thoughts on this as well. And if I can help you, and if you want some feedback on your speech that you're trying to give, I'm more than willing to help you out on that. I love doing that kind of stuff. Moving on, segment 3, tip and tool of the week. This week's tip is my 3-day free webinar called Side Hustle Sprint, your 3-day path to profit. It is free. You could, of course, donate. You don't have to. The link in the show notes, or you can go to adamsilver.com/free webinar. That's coming up in about 2 weeks. Completely free, so check that out. That's my tip of the week. If you know somebody who might be interested in learning just some basics, 3 light days, 45 minutes each, about how to set up a side hustle, etc., make money from it, that's what I'm trying to teach. All right, I'm going to wrap it up here. If you have any questions, go ahead, send it in via email, adam@KitchensinkWP.com, or use that SpeakPipe function on the website. If you want to support the show, you can become a Patreon, KitchensinkWP.com/Patreon. If you want to sponsor the show, there's a form on the website. I would love to have you on as a sponsor. Thanks for listening. See you next week. Now go out and do some awesome things with WordPress. All right, bye-bye.